Hey guys, today I want to talk about 4 sort of life-changing things that happened to me yesterday and how to overcome depression and how to stay motivated. Okay, Paul D coming to you live from the Studio of Life, and I want to talk to you about depression. I want to talk to you about what does it take to stay motivated. This morning I got up, I put on this hat right here. It says Jensen's Powertrain. Let me tell you about Jensen's Powertrain. I met a guy up in Canada who runs an Allison transmission, like huge semi-truck, fixes and works on and rebuilds those transmissions. He dials them in, he tunes them up, and he keeps them running really well. Because deep down inside those transmissions, there's all those moving parts, there's those gears, there's all that fluid. You know, I paid almost $2,000 just for the fluid that goes inside of that transmission. And so I'm like, I want that thing to be working well. I bought this bus. I didn't know too much about it. And here I meet this guy, and he's telling me about these transmissions. So I brought my bus to him. And I walk in there, and he's got these transmissions all taken apart all over his shop. He's got them sitting on these big machines with computers and dials and readouts, and he's monitoring the inner health of these things. I'm like, that is so cool. So I brought my bus to him. He dialed it in. He put in all new fluid in it, put synthetic fluid in it, and got it all working, and it's been great. And that's kind of how our lives are. We need that tune-up. What is it that keeps us motivated? What is it that keeps the things in life from overcoming us? Proverbs 18, and I hope you're following along in the Proverbs and reading those Proverbs and getting something out of them. I want to comment on one verse. My challenge is for you to read a proverb every day. There's so much in here that we can get. And here's a proverb that I read today that spoke to me and just really fit in with what I'm facing in my life. It says this: the spirit of a man can endure his sickness, but a broken spirit who can bear? A broken spirit. That's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about a broken spirit. I had 4 things that happened to me yesterday that just really broke my spirit and made me depressed. And here they are. Here's the first one. A marriage breakup. Some friends of mine, I got word, they've only been married about, I don't know, maybe 2 to 4 years, not exactly sure. And got word that they're breaking up. They're throwing in the towel. They're calling it, you know, just it's sad. And it just really hurt me, and it made me sad. Young couple, they're probably, I know they're making over $100,000 together, and they've got a lot going for them, both raised in Christian homes. And so it just that kind of just really hurt me. And here's another one that happened yesterday, and this was kind of major right here. And it was a major family feud. And you know, some people that are very dear to us, you know, we got word that there was a major blowout. I'm talking about hard things said, very nasty text messages sent, and hard feelings, and I'm never going to talk to you again, and all of that stuff between, you know, blood relatives, and tears shed, and trying to give counsel and trying to encourage people, and just the sadness and the depressiveness and the reality of the harshness of sin just really just knocked me back and knocked these people back, and I was experiencing that with them in my life. Here's the third thing that happened to me, and that is the death or the news of death, or the thought of death of a true patriarch. What's a patriarch? Well, it's a father who just really leads his family. And we were on the road a few years ago, met a wonderful family, and the father had some sons, and you know, we lived in their home and stayed in their home for a few days, and we met them on the road and loved on them, and that father's passing away from cancer. And so we got news of that, and we've been praying for this guy, and just, you know, just made my heart so sad when I thought about him passing, thought about his sons and their family, and what that meant. And here's the fourth thing that really made me sad yesterday, and is the reality of a personal health issue. You know, I'm experiencing some pain in my body. I hurt my leg about 2 weeks ago playing hockey, and I thought, well, you know, it's just going to get better in a day or two. And I was out cutting wood and tromping around in knee-deep snow, and my leg was just throbbing, and I realized this is not just some little thing. And I about really hurt my arm about a year ago, and it took about 9 months to heal. And for about 9 months, I wore a brace on my arm, and it was just aggravating. It was annoying, and I was depressed. I was like, why is this happening? You know, I just really don't want to be sick and limping around for a year while my leg gets better. And just praying for all these people in these situations. And I got to tell you, I was depressed. And how do we stay motivated? How do we get the power back into our lives? Well, I'm going to share with you 3 ways from Proverbs 18 that we can be motivated and get encouragement from the Lord each and every day. And these 3 things are found right here in the Proverbs. And it says this. It says, the words of a man's mouth are deep waters, and the fountain of wisdom is a bubbling brook. You know, God has wisdom. What is a bubbling brook? It's a continual source of supply, of clean and fresh supply for us. And each and every day as we come to God's Word, that wisdom that God has for us, it just somehow clears some of this stuff out of the way and perks up our minds and gives us something to live for. Understanding the goodness of God and His ways and His wisdom. And so that's one thing, is the richness and the depth of the wisdom of God that just, gives us encouragement and gives us something to live for. Here's the second one. It's found in verse 10. The name of the Lord is a strong tower, and the righteous runs to it and is safe, or is saved, or is delivered. The name of the Lord, as we think about God and who He is, all of His great, rich, and mighty names. The Lord my healer, the Lord my provider, Jehovah Tzidkenu, the Lord my righteousness, all of these names of God. And so as we relate to God and as He sort of appears to us and communicates Himself to us through His Spirit, through His Word, in His different names, in His different capacities, in His different powers, sometimes with a gentle word, sometimes with an arm around us and a hug on us, and sometimes with a word of correction. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous runs to it and is saved. So when these kinds of things happen in our lives and we get these kinds of news, I spent a lot of time yesterday just running a few errands, just really crying out to God. And I didn't have my radio on in the truck. I'm just praying for these people, praying for these situations, crying out to God for help and healing. And I'm running to the Lord as my strong tower. And I wake up today and I'm realizing I need another touch from Him. And so that's what I'm finding. Then the last one I'm going to say is found in these 2 verses. And it says, he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. And a man of many friends comes to ruin, but there's a friend who sticks closer than a brother. The last thing I want to talk about is the amazing people that God puts in our lives and what an encouragement they are to us. My wife is an amazing encouragement to me. She does so much for me. She cooks food for me. We have a great relationship. Not that it's perfect or anything, but she is a gift. Whoever finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. The word favor there is grace. I'm getting grace from God because of my relationship with her and what she means to me. And then, there's a friend which sticks closer than a brother. There are people in our lives that are very special and very precious to us. And they encourage us. This morning, one of my daughters cooked an amazing, amazing breakfast. We're talking country kitchen style breakfast. We're talking bagels, hash browns, eggs. The whole thing. Nice wine glasses with juice in them, and just everything just dialed in. And what a encouragement it was. There's all this stuff going on out there, but I've got a wife who loves me. I've got a daughter who's, got up and made a killer, amazing breakfast. Now I want to share with you in closing here, one of the most exciting things that happened, well, definitely yesterday, but you don't get letters like this. I got this letter in the mail, came yesterday, and the Lord knew I needed an encouragement, and, the encouragement of brothers and sisters. And I want to read this letter to you. It comes from a prisoner in a prison that we visited 5 years ago. It was written to one of my daughters, but to us as a family, and it says, "Hello, blank. My name is blank." I'll leave his name blank. And this is going to sound strange, but nearly 5 years ago, you and your family came to perform at the XYZ prison. Well, I was one of those prisoners, and I'm nearly at the end of my sentence. However, I deemed it necessary to reach out to those who have helped me and made an impact on my transformation, and you are one of them. Back in 2012, I was dealing with some major problems because I was trying to come to grips with the fact that I'd be away from my family for 8 years. If that wouldn't make you depressed. Man, my heart goes out to so many of these prisoners. I had just turned 21 in 2010 when I accidentally killed one of my best friends. Man, what would your life be like if you woke up and were facing those circumstances? And now it's been 7 years since that dreadful day, and I've managed to make the most of my time. He goes on to tell you some degrees that he's gotten while he's in prison, some things that he's done. He's kept his body in shape, and now he's getting ready to get out. And he says this, I've dedicated my life to showing God's love and being a servant leader. I've been studying to become a personal trainer, blah, blah, blah. He says, I mention all this to say that I've been able to touch the lives of others because others, like yourself, have touched my life and have exemplified Christ's love to me. And so for that, I want to say thank you. And you know, that's what this studio is all about. That's what this is all about. It's like encouraging. I want to encourage you. Why? So you can go out there and encourage someone else. I'm finding some motivation in God's Word. I'm finding a little power tune-up in my life, and I want to take that and give it to you. Just like Miss Melanie the other day came into my studio, saw what I was doing, and said, hey, I can do that. And she went out and painted this painting right here. I was like, Mel, I'm so proud of you. And we did a little episode with her, had her on here as a guest lecturer. As a guest appearance on here. So just taking the motivation and sharing it with others, and allowing them to share it with others in their lives. He goes on to say, you and your family ministered to me in some of my darkest days being incarcerated, and I may not remember what songs you sang, but I do remember that calming influence. God blesses us with particular spiritual gifts that are designed to bring Him glory, and He has given you a beautiful and powerful voice to help others. And in a similar manner, God has given me the gift to be able to motivate and inspire others. And you know, that's exactly what He did. He motivated me and He inspired me yesterday. I was depressed, and this word brought me encouragement. And so that is really just so amazing. He says, it is absolutely imperative that we continue to use our gifts for His purpose. So from one Christian to another, I'm here to inspire, to motivate, and encourage you to keep on for Him. Keep using your gift in a major way. Think about it this way. Time is our most priceless asset that we have. Because once you've given another person some of your time, there's no way to get it back. We are only given an allotted amount of time on this earth. And for you and your family to donate some of your time to minister to prisoners is a true blessing. Continue to let your light shine, and I promise I'll do the same to let mine shine as well. He goes on to say, I'm not sure if this is even a valid address or if you and your family are anywhere near this place. So hopefully my letter will find you. I don't expect a letter back in response. I'm simply expressing my gratitude. If nothing else, just to let the DeRocher family know what an impact that you have had on a man named blank. I will keep you all in my thoughts and prayers. Until next time, God bless you. And then he has a list of some of the really cool things that inspire and motivate him. And here's my favorite one. He says this, sometimes you need a second chance because you weren't ready for the first. I thought that was so great. And here's a guy that's getting out of prison, whose life has been changed, whose 7 years of his life have been spent incarcerated. And you know what? He's been an overcomer. He's been a motivator. And from there, he's motivating me. And I'm trying to motivate you. And where does all this come from? It comes from the Spirit of God working inside of this guy. And so that is cool. You know, as we look at what's happening to people in our world, as we look at the sad and the difficult and the challenging things, this is just four things that happened to one guy in one day. Think about all the garbage and the stuff that's happening in lives all around us and things that are going on in your life. And I prayed for you this morning. We need to be motivators and encouragers. You know, a broken spirit, who can bear? And so we need to be those overcomers who receive that strength from the Lord every day. Hey, thanks for taking time to share this moment with me. If you like this video, like it and share. And God bless you.